Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Nurul Shafira binti Zulkifli. We will present to you about tuition aid scheme that happened in school. As for our interview, we did interview at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan, Seksyen 5 Wangsa Maju. And we interviewed principal, their principal and the teacher. So, the content that we will talk in our presentation perspective analysis is about the introduction, which is the purpose of this interview, the interviewee, which is principal and teacher's biography and background, the list of questions, comparison of teachers and principal responses, summary of the interview, and also the conclusions. So, as for my part, I will explain to you the introduction, which is the purpose of this interview. Every school employs unique strategy to support struggling students, such as extra classes for slow learners or tuition aid for B40 families. Kementerian Pendidikan's tuition aid scheme supports low-income students by providing financial assistance, bridging the educational gap, and ensuring equal opportunities. So, the purpose of this interview was investigating the scheme of at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Seksyen 5 Wangsa Maju using qualitative methods. Participants included Ms. Nur Najwa binti Mansur, a 30 years old teacher with 3 years of experience, and Madam Badaria binti Bakar, the school principal. Their insight highlight the scheme's effectiveness in this interview.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Juliana binti Khairi, and as for my part, I will talk about the background of the principal and the summary of responses from the principal. Okay, so firstly, I will talk about the background first. So, her name is Badaria binti Bakar, and she is 54 years old this year, and her position is principal in SMK Seksyen 5 Wangsa Maju. She had 30 years of teaching and in administration, and she has a strong background of education. She completed a bachelor degree in education from the University of Malaya.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izrina binti Ismail. So for today's presentation, I will be presenting about the interviewee, which is the biography or the background of the teacher that we interview, and also the summary of the interview of the teacher. So, the name of the teacher that we interviewed is Nur Najwa binti Mansur. She is 30 years old and a counselor at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Seksyen 5 Wangsa Maju. She has 3 years of experience working as a teacher since she just graduated from university, making that her first place of working as a teacher.
Okay, as for the list questions of the interview that we had, I will split it into two, which are one for principal's questions and another one is for teachers. So, for principal question, we asked 4 questions, which is the first one is what motivated this school to provide a tuition aid scheme to students from low-income families. Second, what significant impact has this tuition aid scheme had on the school since it was launched by the ministry in 2004. The third, what criteria are used to determine eligibility for the tuition aid? And the last one is we asked the personal question, which is personally, do the principal think this tuition aid scheme should be continued or practiced in school nationwide? Okay, as for teachers' questions, we asked 5 questions, which are the first one is how can this tuition aid scheme help students increase their confidence to achieve excellent results? The second is, do you think it is necessary to provide a tuition aid scheme to all students from Form 1 until Form 5, or only focus on students who will be sitting for major exams like XPM? And the third one is, do students need to maintain their excellent performance to continue receiving this tuition aid? The fourth one, what is the impact of this tuition aid scheme on students? Does it encourage academic performance? And the last one, we also asked personal question and their own opinion, which is the last question is, personally, do you think this tuition aid scheme should be continued or practiced in school nationwide? The fifth question and the fourth question for the principal question is actually a personal questions. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Safia Dania. So for my part, I will be presenting about the comparison between the teachers and the principal and also the conclusions. Okay, so for the comparison, in comparing the interview response, both the principal, Madam Badaria, and the counseling teachers, Miss Najwa, they both highlighted the support provided to students through different initiatives. While Madam Badar said, the school tuition aid scheme and collaboration with external tuition centers is to help the low-income students, while Ms. Najwa described the school's extra classes initiated by the subject teachers, particularly for students in preparing for major exams. So both of the principal and the teachers acknowledge the importance of this support class, with Madam Badara emphasizing the contributions from the CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility Program, and Ms. Najwa noting that the voluntary and free nature of classes at the school. So for the eligibility criteria, according to Madam Badaria, the eligibility criteria are based on financial needs, according to Madam Badaria. Meanwhile, according to Ms. Najwa emphasized that it is inclusivity in aiming to help the struggling students to improve their performance. So both of the principal and the teachers agree on the significant boost in students' motivation and performance due to this initiative, and they stress the necessity of implementing such schemes nationwide to benefit low-income students, for them to be focused, and also to create effective instruction in smaller groups by having these extra classes.
Okay, now for the summary of the interview of the teacher that we interview. So the first is the main purpose of tuition aid scheme or based on Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Section 51 Semaju is to help Form 5 students to become prepared for SPM examination. So teacher will give additional classes and there is a fixed time. For example, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday after school for 1 hour. So if there are teachers who are free or able on Saturday or Sunday, they will do it on that day, especially for Form 5 students. Students' confidence has grown and their academic performance has improved as a result of the classes, which show major advantages. So this additional class does indeed a lot for students' motivation. The result of the extra classes and program from the teachers can help students to understand subjects that they do not understand. Next is extra classes for Form 1 and Form 2 are rare, but the teacher may offer them if the syllabus is not fully covered yet. For Form 5, throughout the year, starting from the beginning of the year, there are extra classes, but for other form, it's not really necessary. Since this extra classes is voluntary from the teacher, so the school does not charge extra fee from the student. Therefore, if the teacher are free or willing to do it, they will do it on their own. It's a voluntary work from them. Last but not least, extra student can join the extra classes. If their grades are not excellent, there will be many additional classes that will be given to the student. It's not that you have to succeed first to get into extra classes. It's not like that, because this school, they don't call it like tuition aid scheme, they call it like just extra classes. So like the more the student's result is not doing well, the more extra class will be given to them. So if their grades are really low, then teacher will pay more attention to them to help them to get better grades. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to present about the summary of response from the principal. Okay, so as for the first question, we asked the principal what motivated the school to provide a tuition aid scheme to students from low-income families. And then the principal said that the school provides the tuition aid scheme for all students. However, she acknowledged that other tuition centers want to contribute in helping the school every year by collecting data of students who come from low-income families. So the student will register in the tuition center by using the data that the school has collected. And then next, as for the second question, the principal emphasized that other tuition centers have contributed in helping the school to help students who come from low-income families, which they don't have to pay the tuition fees because they have been put in the CSR, which stands for Corporate Social Responsibility Program. So it means that the students can attend the tuition class for free, and the principal also mentioned that all of the students have always attended the tuition class every day, so the principal guarantees the students will achieve something from the tuition classes and give an impact to the school. As for the third question, we asked the principal about the eligibility, and the principal answered by saying that the eligibility for the tuition aid scheme are students who are in B14 families and students who have lots of siblings, which has burdened their parents with commitments and finances. And the principal also said that the school has a data background of every student to ensure their parents' household income and see if the students are eligible to get the tuition aid scheme or not. And as for the last question, we asked the principal personal opinion about what if the tuition aid scheme should be continued in school nationwide. And the principal said that she thinks it is a must to continue the tuition aid scheme in school nationwide. However, the plan should be neat and tidy. For instance, the data of the students and the communication between two parties need to be clear, as the school wants the scheme to have impacts on students and schools. And the principal also highlighted that even though most of the students in their school, which is especially Monsoon Maju, come from M40 and T20 families, yet there are still certain students who are in the B40 families. So it is a very good idea if tuition aid scheme were implemented in all schools. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so next, last but not least, from our perspective analysis, it can be seen that the extra classes in the school play a crucial role in supporting students' academic success, and also it can boost the students' motivation from having these extra classes. This approach not only improves their academics and understanding, but also boosts the students' confidence, because by having extra classes, they will be into a smaller group. So the students who are in the high level or maybe in the low level of the academic will be in the same group. So by having this small and the same level group of students in one class will boost the students' confidence more. Okay, so next is by having clear communication and organized planning are crucial for the effective of the scheme. And it can be seen at the end, both Madam Badaria and Miss Najwa are demonstrated exceptional roles as school administration and students advisors by highlighting the importance of this initiative. So by having this initiative, which is these extra classes really help the students with their studies, and it can also help the students to boost their energy. And it can be seen also by having these extra classes, the performance of the students in the school is in a positive condition, because all of the students are giving a good feedback from this extra class, which really helped them in getting a good result in their examinations. So that's all from me and my group. Thank you.